Yesterday I swung by the local Goodwill store to see if they had any radios or records, and I saw they had just recently gotten a bunch of old 78 RPM records, and a bunch of them were in really good shape. Now, I'm not really a record collector, but these kind of interested me. I didn't have any 78 RPM records, prior to yesterday, and the price was right. These were marked as $2, but yellow tagged items were on sale for half off, so these were just $1 each. And some of these are really in mint condition. They look almost brand new. Others are in worse shape. I didn't buy all the really beat up ones. The ones that were in sleeves had survived a lot better. They weren't, scraping against the other records. I'll show you what I've got. Almost all of it is what the record company is branded as, Foxtrot music, which is apparently a dance style that was popular in the 1910s to like 1930s or so. You don't really hear that term anymore, so I wasn't familiar with it. I had to look that up. Some of the stuff they have labeled as, Foxtrot would be today considered jazz music. There's one in particular that I'm going to play. This is the one I'm going to play. I might play another one too. It's got the only name I had recognized, Charlie Davis. I like these record sleeves. Most of them are in their correct sleeves, although there are some that are not. They're pretty much all, Foxtrot style music. There's a few things in here that are different. Like there's one that's marked as waltz, and there's one other one I can't remember right now. Whoever owned these records was apparently a big fan of Jimmy Dorsey. I grabbed 4 of those records, but there were a bunch more. Many of them were in rough shape. It looked like the needle had dragged across the records or something, or they were just, played a ton. A few of these are from movie soundtracks. I think this one's from the movie Second Fiddle, and this one's from College Swing. I thought this one sounded reasonably nice. I'll play it too. 78 RPM records aren't really super high fidelity. They sound exactly like I guess you'd expect them to sound from old cartoons or whatnot. Some of these even have that, up and down wobble that you always see in cartoons. Of course they exaggerate it, but... Alright. Open up my record player. These 78 RPM records are made of shellac, not vinyl. And they're a lot sturdier than vinyl records, although they seem to have their own unique problems. Like a couple of these have pits, unfortunately, that I didn't notice in the store, where like a chunk of the material broke away. I'm hesitant to play those because it can catch the needle. I did play one of them, and it pops really loud when it hits, one of those little voids. I'll just set this down for a second. The needle I have here is probably not 100% correct for 78 RPM records, but considering the reproducer had on the old mechanical record players weighed like a pound, I don't think this thing can do too much damage to these records. Plus shellac is very tough. I showed this record player about a year ago. There's very little bass on these records. I guess the machines of the day couldn't reproduce it well. You notice how quickly the head's moving across the record. 78 RPM records only play for a few minutes each. Because not only do they run faster, the grooves are quite a bit larger. They're also a lot easier to clean than 33 RPM records. I just used a wet paper towel on these, and the dirt wiped out of the grooves really easily.
I fall in love with you, same old way, just like that first great moment long ago. Same old thrill, same old glow. I always find your kiss just like new, and rediscover this charm of you.
Hopefully there's no copyright issues with these old records. You'd think they'd have lapsed by now, but copyright's kind of ridiculous in America, so they might not have. I'm going to play that jazz record. My dad's pretty big into jazz, so if you're watching this, Dad, it's for you. Of the ones of these I've listened to, and I've given at least a brief listen to all of them, this one's my favorite. It's Copenhagen. You'll notice that the stop groove on these 78s is kind of off center. I'm not sure why that is. Some of these don't trip the stop mechanism on my record player correctly. Surprised they did that. It would have been flinging that heavy reproducer back and forth on the early record players. Well, thanks for watching.